a common question I get from a lot of people. So people think naturally whenever you cut carbs from a diet, replace those carbs with fats. I mean, it kind of makes sense in some capacity. You lower your carbs, low insulin, add in some fats to make up for the energy balance. Here's the thing though, whenever you cut carbs, you're cutting them obviously to dip into body fat stores and to accelerate the fat burning process. So what a lot of people will do will replace the carbs for fats, but the thing is, you know anything about fats, it's double the calories per gram. And at the end of the day, it's about calories in, calories out. So it's very easy to replace the carbs that you deducted with the extra fats and actually be at the same calories or above without even really putting much mind into it. So whenever I personally have people cut carbs from a diet, let's say someone's behind or someone needs to expedite the process, I'm gonna cut their carbs, I'm gonna add in even more vegetables. And 9 times out of 10, if I add fats, it's gonna be controlled, and I'm gonna do my math and make sure that it's still under a calorie deficit of what I need it to be for the total week deduction. And it'll probably be in the form of an MCT oil, whether it's MCT oil or coconut oil, which has MCTs inside of it, the constituents of it. And I'll just use it sparingly, maybe pre-workout, maybe in the morning to get them going in their coffee, whatever, but it's not gonna be abundance of it. It's not gonna be anything crazy. So a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm going low carbs or whatever, so I'm gonna jack up the almond butter, peanut butter, olive oil, or whatever. That's sometimes doesn't always work out in your favor. Like I said, you might actually slow the process down or not get anywhere, even though you reduce the carbohydrates. So what I would recommend is people to even add even more green vegetables. So what I'll have people do personally, this is what I do, I'll have them have a green salad, but I'll have cucumbers in it. I'll have them have asparagus, celery stalks, things that are detoxification products for your body. So those naturally detox your body, they help your kidneys, they're natural diuretics. And I'll combine all three of those, usually cucumbers, asparagus, and celery, complement it to the already, set in stone protein amount, which, you don't really need to change that at all. And if anything, you might need to increase it whenever you cut your carbs. Because here's the thing, you add extra protein, that actually is a metabolically demanding process to even convert protein into body fat, whereas dietary fat is readily stored into triglycerides, into the fat cells. So protein, if you jack that up whenever you cut your carbs, that you're still better off doing that, because then it's also the thermic effect of food. You're getting a metabolic boost just from increasing the protein. You aren't getting a thermic effect from the fat. So thermic effect from fat's minimal. It's like 2 to 3% of that. Carbohydrates, protein actually, increase the body temperature a little bit more. So that's your best bet. So the take-home message here is, whenever you go low carb or cut your carbs, you don't always need to replace the lost calories with fat calories, especially if you're trying to expedite the process. So protein and vegetables, suffer a little bit, speed up the process, get caught up in your fat loss program, or get your results faster. And of course, introduce refeeds or cheats if you have a prolonged period of low carbs, because carbs activate thyroid T4 into T3. You will have a reduced thyroid production if you prolong the period of low carbs. That's another topic, I guess, with cheat meals strategically implemented. There you have it.
But how do you add the carbs back in? Well, don't film me so close. How do you add the how do you add the carbs back in without slowing down the process?
Excellent question, wife. How do you reintroduce carbohydrates after the prolonged period or the mini blast of carb deprivation? Good question. Whenever you go through whatever this is, it can be 5 days, 3 days, a week of zero carbs, or whatever you're doing to expedite the process. Whatever your base diet was, so let's say you went from 250 grams or 200 grams or even 150 straight to zero protein and vegetables, you would go back to that base, if not even higher, because your body's going to be so efficient, insulin sensitive, and it's going to be really responsive, that a lot of times I've had it happen where I can actually, let's say the guy went from 200 grams of carbs and we did a 0 week and he got even leaner. I actually put him back up at 300 or 250, and he actually further kept speeding up and he had a new set point where it kind of like he really did pick up his metabolic rate. But a lot of times, Rachel, you will just put the people right back on their base. So if they're at 150 before the carb depletion, they'll put them back on 150, see how that goes. Yeah, so that's pretty much what you do. And there's multiple ways to do it. Some people will stay low carb or zero carb and just implement refeeds like every 4th day, or cheat meal every twice a week, and that kind of keeps things a little bit from stagnation. And that's what you would do.